We all want to build our audience. Of course we do. We want attention, we want people in our sales pipeline, we want people to come to us, and we want them to buy things, and we want their money. We need to get their attention, go, hello, I've got this thing. I'm going to take you through some of the tactics which are working now, which replace some of the older tactics that you might have used in the past. And I'm going to explain why these things work now better than some of the older ways of getting attention. For clarification, what I'm talking about here when I'm talking about audience building tactics is specifically how to get people from out of the other 4 billion people in the world who have got internet access and find the ones that are actually interested in what you do, what you say, that resonate with you, and encourage them to sign up to your email list. Email is the best possible way you can have for 99.999% of businesses of getting to talk to those people more, and therefore getting them to trust you, love you, and to buy from you. I'll talk about that in other videos, but for today's purpose, what we're talking about is how do we get people's attention and get them onto your email list. These are the tactics that are working in 2024 and maybe should replace some of the things that you've been doing before. Let's talk about why it's difficult to get people's attention. In the old days, pre-internet, pre-advanced capitalist society, we probably could have just gone into the village square, stood on a box and gone, hello, I've got some horseshoes. Or people would have known us because we were the only blacksmith in town. Now, we're shouting amongst all the other people who also want to get attention and all of the other competitors for our potential clients' attention. And it's difficult. It is difficult to stand out because all the people that we want to get the attention of, all those nice lovely people that we might be able to work with and help them, they are paying attention to other things, not necessarily us. And we don't get more attention just by standing on a box and shouting loudly. In fact, you would probably get the attention of maybe some people who want to help you with your mental health. So we're competing within the attention economy, and we have to be clear about that because the people that you want to talk to, they are scrolling on their phone, doing their thing. Some of them are scrolling on their phone while I'm cycling about and they're standing in the cycle lane scrolling on their phones. They are looking at other things and they are moving on very, very quickly to the next thing. Because social media and online attention is very partial. We're very promiscuous. We just move on, move on, move on. And it's also very passive. I'm guilty of this just as much as anyone else. I passively watch something. Maybe I subscribe on YouTube. Maybe I go, oh, that's really, really good. I'm going to go on their email list and see what else they've got. Yeah, definitely, that's for me. But mostly, we're all just looking at things in a very passive and inactive way. It takes quite a big thing to get your attention enough for you to actually go, oh yeah, I'm going to follow these people. I'm going to see what they've got. I'm going to sign up to their emails and get more of this. So we have to work hard to get people's attention and to convince them that we're the ones that they want to be playing with. And for lots of reasons that I'm sure you're only too familiar with, people are more and more distrustful. We're distrustful of politicians, of people in society, people higher up, all of that. People don't necessarily trust what they see on the internet, often for good reasons. In the old version of competing in the attention economy, what we were told was you should show up, and that showing up is enough. You would go to your favourite social media and you would regularly post and you would put out some good content, talk about your thing, and you would post consistently. I'm sure you've heard this advice, be consistent. But it doesn't work now how it used to. It doesn't even work how it used to work last year, let alone 5 years ago, because everybody else has heard that be consistent advice, post regularly advice, and they're all doing the same thing. So you are competing in the same way. You haven't got any natural advantage. And then there's just a mass of people who are putting more and more stuff out. That's the old version. So let's talk about some of the new tactics, things that are going to work now. So I was making a list of things that I see from my own marketing and work with clients. What is actually working? What is getting people's attention successfully and getting them to go onto your list so you can talk to them more? And I noticed something in common about all of these things. They all rely on us talking about our potential clients' favourite subject. And do you know what the favourite subject of every single potential client you have? Yeah, I know. I don't know you. I don't know who your clients are, but I know what their favourite subject is themselves. We're all human, me as well, and we all like to talk about and to think about ourselves because we are number one. And your clients also want to think about themselves. And what I noticed was that these 4 audience building tactics that I'm going to talk you through are all reliant on that propensity of us human beings to want to talk about ourselves. I'll take you through them. So number 1 is, and this is nothing new, it's building a quiz. You remember those old Cosmo quizzes that you used to get in the magazines, if you even remember magazines? Everybody loves a quiz. Everybody loves, no matter how spurious or general it is, everybody loves to have a quiz and talk about themselves, to find out something about themselves. And it helps us to reflect on, oh, am I doing this well? Am I this sort of person? Have I got this in common with other people? We all want to categorize ourselves, to benchmark ourselves. So quizzes work really, really well. People can't resist a quiz. Even if you are selling to C-suite, really high up people, they love a quiz just as much as you and I do. It used to be that when I encouraged people to do quizzes, they would get stuck in the weeds of the technology of building quizzes because it was difficult. And it would be difficult to put it all together, and then people would give up because they'd get stuck in it. And then by the time that they came to promote the quiz, they were over quizzes. They didn't want to do that anymore. So I've been using, for myself and with clients, a new piece of software called Scorer. It works. It's really easy to set up. You do have to invest some time. So when I say easy, I don't mean, oh, ping, 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 there's my quiz. Although you might think that if you look at their website. I would say it would take 7, 8, 10 hours to put your quiz together and get it feeding in leads. And then maybe go back to it after a month and see, right, what's working, what's not, how can I tweak it. ScoreUp does definitely make the tech setup much easier, and I would say makes your quiz classier. You can brand it, it looks pretty. It's well worth paying for it. Sometimes when I talk to people, they say, oh, haven't you got a free software for that, Julia? And I say, yeah, there's free software, but you'll never finish your quiz and you'll never get any clients. Use ScoreUp, you might as well. And think about it. If you pay 3 months, like £35 a month, and you get 30 leads, how much money is that per lead? You convert 20% of them, how much money is in your pocket? How much better off are you? A lot more than what you've paid for ScoreUp. So try it out, make the investment. The next tactic that I see working for people now in building audience is best for people who are selling something that is more than, say, 1,000, more than £1,000, because it takes some work per customer. And you've got to have some time to put into this. It's something that you could do week by week and build it up. And it is extremely effective. So what you do is you first identify clearly who is your target market, who am I aiming at. You need to do that before you do any of these tactics, by the way, and be really, really clear about that. And then find some examples of a unique human being who represents that, somebody that you would love to have as one of your clients, and somebody who is accessible. So if Bill Gates is part of your customer avatar, maybe don't start with Bill Gates because he's quite difficult to get to. Start with somebody who is a realistic target. And what you do is you do some sort of value in advance review, suggestions. You're actually doing part of your work, maybe quite a big part of your work, up front for free. You record it as a little video and then you send it to them. And you send it very nicely, you put it all together, you explain why they should watch the video. And then you've shown that you are trustworthy, that you know your stuff, and that they should talk to you. And you give them a way of, can we have a meeting? You should join my email list for more information, etc. A clear call to action from that. If you do 10 of these, 2 of them will probably result in some sort of sale for you. So you don't just do 1, you have to do 10. It's quite time consuming. And the secret is, don't try and just bash them out. Spend time on it. And again, think about the potential customer lifetime value that you would get from that. I get some of these quite regularly. I get people who are asking me, can I have a guest post on your blog, Julia? Blah, 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 blah. And most of them are just rubbish, and I put them in the bin and feel slightly insulted. You have to do a good job to get people's attention, and you have to be specifically talking about them. What are their challenges? What are their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? Send it to them, be generous, put it all out there for them, and then show how you can help them to deal with what you've identified for them. Go deep on this one. The other way of being really interested in people is to do a survey. Quick note on this, do not do those little polls in LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is very clever and does not allow you to own the right to talk to that person a second time. You can only talk to them through LinkedIn. And whatever their weird algorithm says about somebody who clicks on your poll and they're going to see your posts next time. I have no idea how that all works. Nobody does. Don't think LinkedIn does. Don't use those LinkedIn polls. Set up your own survey, use some software, make it look pretty, and do a survey of what is important to your customer. So again, it's very, very focused on your niche, on potential customers, and ask them, what is their opinion about this thing that is affecting their industry? What do they think about this? What do they think the trends will be for this coming year? Ask them about their own particular situation. How confident do they feel for the future? You know your industry, you know what would be meaningful there. And you can ask quite detailed questions there that might feel like they're cheeky questions. Don't make them required questions, especially if they're financial ones, and especially if you're going for a UK audience, because British people don't like to talk about money. And the clever bit with this is you do the survey and you say, I'm doing some research and I'm going to be publishing a report about this. Would you like to get a copy of the report? And so you give them a reason to give you their email address. And then you sweeten that a little bit further. We're going to send you a copy of the report. Would you like to do an in-depth interview if you've got strong feelings about this? Would you like a special bar of chocolate or the chance to win an Amazon voucher or whatever sweetener bribe you want to put in that? And that will encourage them to put their email address in Then they go onto your list, and then you can send them lovely, trust-building, nurturing emails. This one really works well. Again, none of these are cheap in terms of time and effort, but it does give you substantial attention and gets people onto your list. It builds audiences. I've seen it working lots and lots of times. The last one is kind of a new version of a well-worn technique. So you have a lead magnet, which instead of being the very generic lead magnet that you have on your site. So for years on my coaching website, I had success factors for small businesses. I was doing it all wrong. It worked when I first set that up in 2014, but it's tailed off now. What I need and what you need is something that is hyper specific to your people, to the people that you want to be in your tribe. So you need to go super niche and give them a lead magnet that is really clear that it is for them. And then they are much more likely to download that lead magnet and to join your email list, so you can send them all those lovely emails. So lead magnets nowadays have to be hyper specific. And I would recommend that you do over time, not expecting you to do all of this by next Tuesday, but I would recommend that you do several lead magnets. Try and do one every 6 weeks or something, and test them out against each other. See which ones are working, and the ones that are working already by just being on your website, push those a little bit further. Do some ads. Those are the 4 really good audience building techniques that I see working at the moment. Over time, these will change and they will be outdated. Who knows what way the attention economy is going to go. But give these a go because they're working right now. Want to learn more about the art of productizing your expertise? There are new videos here every week. Here are a couple of good ones to get you going.